Colleen Saidman Yee. This is Talking Yoga. And we're talking to Ramanand Patel. Patti from Pennsylvania is curious, when one is suffering from the misperception that no one loves me, how do you find a way towards balance?
No one can love you until you first love yourself. Anyone that shows love towards a person who doesn't love themselves is either taking care of you, you're a little child and somebody takes care of you, or is trying to control you. Even when you take care of the child, essentially you are trying to control the child. Okay? We don't call it control, we call it love. That's the only difference. But to really experience love deeply, one has to love oneself. Self has to love the self, for which it has to know the self. If I don't know the self, I assume I am this body, then all kinds of problems happen. Because what happens to the body, mind, sense complex is, whatever is pleasurable, it wants more of. Whatever is not pleasurable, it wants to get rid of. Okay? That's an endless process. Okay? You will never get enough.
But it seems like no one is ever going to be able to love because very few people know themselves. So that means there's no love.
See, we talked of receptivity of the eyes, right? You can have degrees of it. Love is a receptive thing. You can have degrees of it. Okay? But it must begin with I love myself. Okay? One has to ask, who is this I that loves myself? That has to be understood. But until that happens, the outside would always be looked upon as, does this gratify my sensations and my senses, or does it irritate my senses? That has nothing to do with love. It's a sensual experience. Okay? We confuse that a lot. Sensual experience has little to do with love, very little. And sometimes nothing at all. And I would go even further. Some of the sensual experience is you are being controlled, or you are trying to control.
Nisargadatta says that without self-realization, there's no virtue. Does that resonate? Is that?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing, right? But then none of us are self-realized, so all of our acts are controlling or selfish.
Yes, and as I said, there are degrees of it.
Different degrees.
Yes. And I would not say it is wrong. It can be wrong, but there is a degree which sort of goads you towards correct position. But it will not be complete until there is self-realization. It cannot be. It's just not physically possible for it to be. My actions are driven by my likes and dislikes. Raga, dvesha, it is called in Sanskrit.
Do you feel like you have gotten to a point where you love yourself in a way that you feel like your actions can be virtuous?
No, I would not say that. I would say about myself, if you are talking, is that my sense of that correctness is much better today than it was yesterday.
Right.
Okay? So there is a progression, there is an improvement. There are certain things I would do 10 years ago. Today I would not do that at all. And yet 10 years ago I did not consider it necessarily wrong. I thought, knowing the society as I do, it's quite appropriate. Today I would not do that.
Beautiful.
If I am at a place where there is a beggar sitting, I would have great difficulty eating in front of him. 10 years ago I would say, well, that's his karma. Today I would not do that. Either I share the food, or at the minimum I walk away from him, which also would feel guilty. Not because I want to feel holy or anything like that, but it just deeply hurts because I see myself in this person to a much greater degree than I did years ago. When I see a human being happy, it makes me happy. When I see somebody in pain, it causes pain to me. Okay? And that has refined, and I hope it continues to refine more and more and more.
So does it feel like it's the pain and the grief that we're all, it's almost like one big pain, one big grief, and we tune into it at different...
Yes, if we divide this up in big events like war. But is there such a thing as American pain or Indian pain or Russian pain? No, it's human pain. We do same with our water. There's an American river or Indian river. It's not, it's water. Right? Same way, it's a collective pain.
Okay, on that note, thank you, community, for your questions, for your interest, for your curiosity. This is Colleen Saidman Yee hosting Talking Yoga with Ramanand Patel. Namaste.